Morning all. Here I am luxuriating in my luxury suite here at the Washington Plaza Hotel, downtown Washington. I have my complimentary weekend Washington Post. I've got my coffee that the maid has bought me. She's standing half dressed behind the camera. We're off to New York City this morning. It's now 9 AM, we've got to leave at 11. We've got to leave the hotel, I reckon, at about 10. We've had a fabulous time here at DC. No negatives whatsoever. Kind of excited. We're going to take a train ride today. It's a 3-hour train ride from DC to New York. I've never actually commuted like from one place to another on the train before. Everyone, you know what I mean, like with baggage and all that. Everyone's caught trains, especially in England and Europe. I've done a lot of it, but only to go to a place and back again, not straight through. So that'll be something different. Looking forward to that. I knew Baltimore was struggling from what we've seen with Anthony Bourdain and his TV show. Have a look at that.
Gee whiz. Looks almost burnt out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at that lot.
Jeez.
It's like slums, isn't it?
It is.
Take all the tourists right past it. 15 minutes later and we're going over a large body of water. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to find out. Because I just happened to have brought my map book with me here. We started at DC, just been through Baltimore, and now we're about there where it says the Middle River, Peter Hall, Edgewood, that sort of area. There's Wilmington, Delaware.
There's an ML King Boulevard being advertised on the flyover directions as usual.
Another Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Every single place we go to has one.
Very highly regarded here
I know.
in the United States. Rosa Parks Boulevard. She was the one that wouldn't get off the bus.
Yeah.
Back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. Look at them all playing around there on the park, 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Fair or something on.
Community spirit, live and well. We're going the right way too. Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is a bonus because I really didn't factor in coming here. Not that we're coming here. What I mean by that is we're not getting off the train. I didn't explain that very well. My guidebook reckons Philly's a cracking little spot. Well, we sat in the train station for about 25 minutes, doing what? We're not sure, but we're off again. I don't know the population of Philly, but she's a substantial town. I think there's a river down there. There is too, there it is. It was the zoo. And that river, there it is, the zoo. And this river, here we go, we're going over it now, is still the Delaware. It's a big river. There's Philly. Well, that's pretty cool. The old station, seen better days, as most of this area has, by the looks of things. It's fascinating. Exactly like Baltimore out this side. Sting. The cops. It was a donut time. Just abandoned buildings everywhere. And I reckon Detroit's good for that. So we're coming out of Philly and into Trenton, which is in New Jersey. We're not far away from Jersey. Yeah, that's moving pretty well. They're right there. Look at that. Welcome to Jersey. Our fifth state of the day. Not far now, eh?
Too far.
Just a few miles. Should add actually that all the states we went through today we would have or have already been through in the car, or will be going through in the car. Only one is Delaware that we're not going back to or have been before. Newark, New Jersey. Just come past the airport. This is suburbia Newark style. There's a little girl feeding her doll. We've already seen just glimpses of the New York skyline over the back. Well, there's an address that Matt and Christy will recognise. We're here. After negotiating all our shit through Penn Station downtown in New York, down that way, down Broadway. 6 blocks up, and we've found our eatery for the evening. You got yourself a classic burger.
Classic burger.
Deluxe, so you had to pay extra $3, so $8.95. And I've got the Metro Diner burger. Sans the pickle though.
Yeah, they can have. No, I don't want that.
Oh, I don't want the pickle. Americana. I should explain I got the caramelised onion with special sauce. That's really the only difference between the two, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think there is much the same.
Mayo with our fries. Very popular since Pulp Fiction. The idea came from Amsterdam. I'm doing battle.
Good?
Terrible. No, it's diabolically good.
Just bought some bananas. $1.25 for this bunch.
For 5 from this gentleman here. Sunday, September 18, 2011, and we're in Manhattan, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We're on Manhattan. We got back to the hotel after having spent about an hour or two just wandering around the surrounds and getting some bits and pieces, because we're there for 10 days, so we got some milk and groceries, that sort of stuff. Bananas, as you saw. Went to bed at 8:30, woke up at 9 a.m. So our pace eventually got the better of us, and exhaustion was the name of the day, and it was a Saturday night. So it sure was something for me not to go out on a Saturday night.
It was a big night, as I said.
So now today we're taking it easy. We're just going to have a bit of a wander around, pretty much I think like Matt and Chrissy did when they came here, just to suss out the local area, take it easy the first day. And then tomorrow morning we'll get into the New York way of things and do battle with the Macys. First things first, the Hudson. Obviously that's looking north. Being the Hudson's on the west side, and that is New Jersey across the other side. No prizes for guessing. And that's where all the action will be happening, downtown area. This is a Civil War monument, just to the west side of 87th. Quite a grandiose structure. '89th. So we're 5 blocks to the south of our digs. Because this is the Upper West Side, this is where Seinfeld was set. And you walk along some of those little streets and yeah, you just think, gee, I've seen this before. Well, she's hiding from the camera.
Yeah.
She just walks along in my draft the whole time. I prefer to think that it's because I'm creating the space, you see. She's only just got to walk into empty space then. Now this is still on 94th, and being so densely populated around here, full of residential flats, there's just shops everywhere at the bottom of all of them. There's just everything you can need. Very convenient. And we're on our way up to Central Park, which is just the other side of that traffic light. Quite taken with the look along here,
Pretty.
aren't you?
Yeah, it's much nicer architecture rather than those
Like the ones on the right. You prefer
Yeah,
the look on the left.
but the red sandstone with the little bit of feature on it, that's quite pretty.
At the Jackie Kennedy Reservoir, it's a good idea if you follow that instruction. Yep, Central Park has its own cop shop. I'm getting wet because of that thing, and it's not very warm. I've got shorts and t-shirt on.
I said it's one of the worst places to stop because I'm getting wet from the fountain and it's pouring over.
There's a bit of a breeze around. It wasn't there this morning. That's looking back over to the west side where our hotel is. It's taken 15 minutes to walk halfway around, including camera stops. Well over 3/4 of the way around. It's looking down towards Lower Manhattan, which is the famous part. We'll get there tomorrow.
Let's see, police going down.
Very practical. So very practical.
I don't know how fast they go.
I reckon their bullets go pretty fast.
He doesn't need to as long as the boats go given directions by someone, as in they had a little map of the reservoir area to say whereabouts he was. And I thought, well, he might have asked a tourist, but he asked the right one. He was brave. Because he could tell him.
Well, that's one lap, and we took exactly 37 minutes, and we stopped about 7 times. A nice little amble. Ice cream man.
Plus hot dogs and whatever else.
Wonder if it'll be any busier, or what it's going to be like in the middle of the week. Yeah, it should be the busiest day today, maybe yesterday, but we'll see. She's buggered. She's not really. I just told her to lay down because everyone else was taking photos of the other halves on. This is the area here where Simon and Garfunkel put on their 1981 Concert in the Park show. Quite a spread, as Barbara says. Very pleasant.
It's gorgeous. Beautiful day too.
New York's playground. I was bemoaning the lack of restrooms, wasn't I?
I was just about to point that out.
And then the choir marked the spot. They've just finished just in time for me to film them. Well, there we are at the Belvedere Castle. We started up tennis courts, just on 96th here. Then we walked around the lake, then back through the Great Lawn, as they call it, through to the conveniences. You can see just there. And then we're looking for strawberry fields right out the front of the Dakota building.
So there's a subway station on this side that I think.
It was in this spot right here that John Lennon was shot, December 8, 1980. Right here in front of the Dakota building, here on 72nd and Central Park West. Strawberry Fields is 100 metres from where I'm standing through there.
Clear and students with the
Monday, September 19. We're on an open bus tour. We've bought a pass for 3 days, hop on, hop off.
You come to us with your favourite budding,
North of the hotel.
Make
Well, we're in Harlem. We're only 2 blocks from Harlem at our hotel. I didn't know that.
that's been reaped their honours and servants. Now it's just an office.
The famous Apollo Theatre. It's where the Jackson 5 were discovered.
Checked in with a lot of force. Keep them down because we're coming out again. Thank you, Charles. That's the best. Here on Lennox, these 30-room mansions required full formal staffing to run. Lennox, one of the 3 Gilded Age millionaire families whose fortunes helped endow The main library, the 42nd Street, was Astor Tilden and Lennox.
Jesus,
These
fascinating.
buildings so big, they housed churches, and many of them with authentic detail work. To the left, the widows walked fencing. Not a sad thing. Seafaring wives liked to pace the rooftops to see if their husbands' boats were coming back to shore. Without a fence, and quote. Because it was the Gilded Age, of course, the fence had to be exquisite. And many of these buildings not occupied by seafaring wives, but the style was set, so everyone had to have them. Till 10, so
And we're on Malcolm X Boulevard, which ironically runs parallel to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Polar
At this
opposites.
point in the tour,
Both meet the same fate
Thompson, I
though.
would like to thank. Now another surprise, way down to the right, that's the top of Empire State Building, a full 5 miles away. At 102 stories tall, it's still New York's tallest building since the 9/11 attacks. To the right, King Jr. Towers, named for Dr. King. To the left, Taft Houses, named
So the
for
Rockefeller
longtime
Center is not
Senator
the
from New
tallest
York,
building in
Isaac Taft,
NYC.
a relative of former President William Howard Taft, and any other in the city.
More fire alarms answered out of there than any other place.
Called Spanish Harlem, in honor of the many Spanish-speaking residents. His face. This is our
Ellington.
northernmost lake in the park. There's a large wild waterfowl
Central Park.
population. You can see some of them to the right. Always best admired from afar, guys. Without putting too fine a point on it, the shorelines get very slippery, and wild animals living long in the city lose their fear of us. Just makes them more dangerous. They're beautiful. Wave, blow kisses, but don't approach. Come blow.
The Plaza.
You
That's
can,
the hotel
if you
used
wish
in
to,
Crocodile Dundee,
transfer here
where
for
Mick
a
came and
downtown loop.
put the
I cannot
boomerang off the cab,
downtown
and north by
loop.
northwest, Kerry
Remember,
Grant.
we've got reroutes all over the place because of the United Nations.
It's just down to
Because
the
President Obama will be in town. And it will be that way for the whole week.
Just over from the bottom of the south of Central Park.
Anybody leaving us for Central Park South?
Obama's been following us around, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He came to North Carolina, then went to DC, followed us back there. Now he's coming here.
Okay, we've chucked the left, we're now on 54th. That's Times Square. Buses moving around, that's why the picture's not that steady.
Well, right after that last shot, we jumped off the bus because she said, "Oh, you know, the Ed Sullivan Theatre's around the corner." So we thought we'll go and suss out tickets, and we've just filled out a ballot inside there for Letterman, and we'll find out. They think there's a pretty good chance we'll get in because we've got a week. We've got a whole week, and it goes into a ballot system, and it's just luck really. But because we've put down that we're available for 6 days. 6 taping sessions, we've got half a chance. But we can't take if we do get in, we can't take any bags, cameras, nothing with us, so we'll have to do it from the hotel. All good.
All you can do is give yourself a shot at it, isn't it?
That's it.
Of course, this is the Ed Sullivan Theatre, and this is where that all happened. Very famous. I always think of Elvis and the Beatles, but he went from 1948 to 1972. A few blocks further south. We're almost down at Times Square.
It's a meeting hall.
We're in the middle of Times Square, as if I needed to tell you. I didn't realise actually, I was sort of wandering down the footpath and all of a sudden we were in here.
Yes, it's got a lot of billboards.
That's where we are, Times Square, where it says NYC. And we came from all the way up here originally, up where it says 27 there on the purple Broadway. We were all the way around the back through Harlem, Central Park down to here, and then we get to go further, places further south, which is that way. BB's desperate to see the Empire State Building, and fair enough too.
And the rock, yeah.
But we've got to check in on Dave Letterman at 11:45. So that's just up the road. So we'll wait and see what happens there. We've moved a few blocks away from Times Square. All of these places are self-explanatory. Back to check if we've been successful at the Dave and Ed Theatre. It says it was in here right way back when Ed Sullivan was still doing his thing. Well, we got in. We've got to walk. We're going to see Dave. What do you think about that?
I think it's very cool.
Front door of Empire State.
You probably know it as the Daily Bugle. It was where Spider-Man worked in the movie. Peter Parker. Up over the trees is the MetLife Clock Tower. The clock is the same size as Big Ben's. It's our Big Ben. Here's our Flatiron building. Terracotta, limestone. And we make a stop here. If anybody wants to walk into Chelsea on your right, famous neighborhood.
All right, off the bus. We've got about an hour or so to saunter back to the Ed Sullivan Theatre, where we're going to watch Dave Letterman do his thing. And we're about 30 blocks to the south, so we better get a wriggle on. Our existence here in New York. Greeley Park. There's old Horace Greeley. Straight out that way, if you think.
Like that. Small flowers, not smoke. Good idea.
They don't like smokers in New York City.
They don't like it, even though we're probably breathing in more pollution than
Yes, but you can't smoke a cigarette. 8.3 million people in this city, and I think most of them are in town today. Empire State again. I know I'm probably waving the video camera around pretty quickly, but everything's happening pretty quickly. And back to Times Square, just crossing 41st and Broadway right now. BB's in charge of the video camera for a while. Let's see what she's got for us. Her number one suggestion is let's find a Starbucks. I'm not too worried, we'll do it. We'll do it.
There's one there.
There's the meeting bowl that we met in earlier. A few more people around now than there were then. We had to blow off the Starbucks because there was nowhere to sit down and nowhere to go to the restrooms.
True.
McDonald's had both, and it's right next door to the Ed Sullivan Theatre. A mango smoothie.
Mango and pineapple smoothie.
I just wanted a strawberry shake, and look what I got.
Well, we're waiting in the queue.
Big queue, but we're about halfway down.
Not too long now.
It's all good. This is going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, it was a false start at the theatre. All we were lining up for was our tickets. We've got to get back there in half an hour.
So come back.
As you can see, it's just there.
But what else is there to do except eat?
I had a $4 hot dog about 2 hours ago. BB though. What's in that? They made it in front of you.
They do. They make it just to your choice, which is absolutely brilliant. I know the bar up there, they just make it there and then. It's linguine with bolognese sauce, and you get choice of 3. You can put other meats with it if you wanted. You get choice of 3 vegetables, which I've chosen peas, cherry tomatoes, and mushrooms. And then they put it all together, and you get some parmesan on top of it, and it is so fresh.
I just tasted it. It is diabolical.
It's lovely.
I seriously regret not getting one.
Well, we're out now. It's all done and dusted. Late show. It's not quite night time yet. But
Started at 4:30, finished at 5:30.
It was really interesting. It was a good show. There was the stand-up bit I liked, like Brett said too.
Letterman did his stuff really well. It was just great Letterman.
Yeah, very good stuff with that. But it was really curious and interesting watching how they all go about it, and
During the ads.
yeah, during the ads, what they did, all the countdown for getting back into it, and the interesting thing I thought when they had that board up saying point of applause, I thought that would come up much more regularly.
It only come up twice?
I only saw it flicker
And
twice.
it was only for 1
And that
second.
was it, and the rest of the time I think everyone was so well trained.
So it's now 5:45. We've come out from the Sullivan. This is Broadway again. To the left of screen is Times Square, only half a block, 1 block down here. We're going to go and do another tour. In the meantime, we're eating. That's the meat lovers. And that's the sausage and bacon. No, sausage and ham calzone here at
Good stuff.
Beniglio. Let's go eat. Dinner has been chowed down.
Yeah, yes indeed.
And we're ready for.
Now we've had the tour.
Have a look at it. Times Square. It's 25 past 6 o'clock in the PM. As it looks on a mid-September evening. As we were explaining earlier today, but we were rocking and rolling along at the time, that's the ball they drop every year, have done since 1903 or something in New Year's, with a big Times Square New Year's party. Almost called it Central Park. It's a sensory assault.
Yeah.
Now, before we get started, I have 2 very, very simple rules. If you're upstairs or you're downstairs, you want to come up, you want to go down, just do me a favor, wait until it's safe enough to come up or go down. The other thing is, since most of you are sitting upstairs, please, no standing while this bus moves. Because if you stand up and then you get hit in the head with the traffic light, means your vacation will be ending. Okay.
Good advice.
But you're on a double-decker bus, it's open top, without standing, just lift your heads up. Trust me, the same buildings will still be there. Promise we won't move them today. Now, this is the night tour, by the way. It is approximately a 2-hour tour. We start here in Times Square, and we'll end here in Times Square. But the official stop is really for the Empire State Building. Now, that stop at the Empire State Building. Now, take a look. On the left coming up, there's a park here called Madison Square Park. In the 1840s, this park was laid out. Shortly after it opened up, a group of guys from this cricket club in Brooklyn came here, and they invented what we call today the game of baseball. It's a combination of rounders and cricket. The first organized professional baseball team played at this park. They were called the New York Knickerbockers. Take a look to your left. This street is called Mulberry Street. This is Little Italy. They have the San Gennaro Festival going on for the next few weeks. I mean, it's still the end of this weekend. It started last week. Now, this festival, by the way, is every year here in September for approximately 2 weeks, actually. And the other thing is that Little Italy today is only one street, and it's 3 streets long, from Canal up to Broome. But they used to go all the way up to Houston, and they used to go from Broadway to the Bowery. Thing is, the only reason why there's one street today here in Little Italy, here's what the last census just said. There is not one person that was born in Italy living in Little Italy today in New York City. The only reason we call it Little Italy, because they actually got a few restaurants still remaining. And here's the other reason. Chinatown has taken over. Let me put it to you this way. The Chinese offered the Italians a deal they could not refuse. That's why they left. But this street right here is Mott Street. This is the main street here in Chinatown. In the 1840s, here on Mott Street and down 2 blocks down on the corner of Bowery, that's where the first person from China settled in New York City. And right now, this Chinatown is the largest Chinatown in population sitting outside of China. Almost 200,000 people in this area live here today from China. Now, we actually have 2 more Chinatowns, by the way. We have one in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, which the census from last year just said they have a population of over 100,000 residents. And then we got another Chinatown sitting out in Flushing, Queens. They already have like 150,000 residents from China today. Now, once we get across this light, we're going to make our way across the Manhattan Bridge. This bridge is the one we're taking to Brooklyn. 1909 it opened up. Has an upper level, has a lower level, and has on the lower level subway tracks also. Now, we're going to take the upper level. At the entrance, the arch was placed there after the bridge opened. It means industrialization and commercialization. But on the other side of this bridge, they used to have another arch just like it. They took it down in the 1930s. This guy called Robert Moses, he took it down because here's what he said. It was useless. And he's the guy that was Parks Commissioner for over 30 years, and he's the guy that did anything he could possibly do for the automobile. A lot of our expressways, parkways, tunnels, bridges were done by this guy. And here's the interesting thing. He did anything for the automobile, and most major cities around the world copied what he did in this city, and he never owed a driver's license in his entire life. For Manhattan. Now, take a look to your right also. You're going to see shortly the Brooklyn Bridge. You hear that noise? That's the subway underneath us right now. And then, take a look to your right. You're going to see the Brooklyn Bridge. That's the East River we're going to be taking across. The Brooklyn Bridge is to your right. That is Liberty Enlightening the World. That's her real name, if you looked at her birth certificate. But her nickname is the Statue of Liberty. We're going to get a better view of her once we get further in here to Brooklyn. Now, look down to your right. This neighborhood is called Dumbo. That's new, actually, that new carousel they put there. District under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. On your right, those people are lined up to go eat one of the best pizzas in the city. It's called Grimaldi's. 2 things. They only sell by the pie, and they only receive cash. They don't believe in plastic money at that place. Now, take a look to your right. The Brooklyn Bridge is one of the 7 modern marvels of the engineering world. If I were you and I got the time, I would walk it across. And here's the other thing. Number 1 on that list, it's called the Empire State Building. So, when we turn here, take a look behind. You're going to see the Brooklyn Bridge, and in the back, you will see the Empire State Building. That means you're going to be looking at 2 of the modern marvels of the engineering world at the same time. That never happens anywhere else. Called WTC-1. That building, when it is completed, will become the tallest building standing in the United States. Now, it's going to be 104 stories of office and residential space. And they're going to add a big antenna on its roof so they make sure it reaches the height of 1,776 feet. What you're looking at right now is approximately 78 stories already above ground. And it's scheduled to open either on September 11th of 2013 or 2014. There's development on another building right now there called WTC 4. 2, 3, and 5, they have not started them yet. Now, if you go visit the site, there's a place there at Bessie Street. Bessie Street has a place called the 911 preview site. And you make it all the way out almost to JFK.
This area in Brooklyn,
Long Avenue.
where Churchill's
Now,
mother
take a look
was
to your
born
right
and
when we cross the lake. There's a church down the street here. It's called St. Mary's of the Fifth Star of the Sea. That church in 1918 is where a guy by the name of Al Capone was actually married. He was born and raised right here in Brooklyn on Flatbush Avenue, not far from here actually. So when we cross the lake, you can see down to your right the church where he got married at. See the church? That's where he got married. Now, take a look at the building across the street on your left there. That building is called the Brooklyn Detention Complex. You're also able to call it a jail if you wish. But here's what they've been trying to do with that building for the last few years. They want to call it the Brooklyn Detention Condominiums. Okay? All right. All of you know what condominiums means? If you don't know, here, let me give you the correct definition. They are overpriced apartments. Okay? Even though the most diverse neighborhood in the entire city of New York today is in Astoria, Queens. And by the way, the borough of Queens right now is the most diverse area in the entire world. Because in Queens today, 5,000 languages and dialects are spoken. That's because 7 million cars a week go through the Lincoln Tunnel. Now, take a look at the skyline of Manhattan. This is the idea of coming across this bridge, is to see it all lit up, the skyline. You are looking at over 1,000 buildings that are called skyscrapers.
just unbelievable. I keep saying it over and over in my films, but to see it with the naked eye, yeah. We all know it's big, but to see it like that is just unbelievable.
From south to north, Manhattan today
long,
is
14?
about 13 miles long. That's that's 20 kilometers. 13 miles long is
Heading west.
approximately 20 kilometers. Now, 1.6 million people today live in Manhattan. Monday through Friday, during the daytime hours, each day, Manhattan's population will go up to approximately 8+ million. Take a look on your left across the street. That's the Manhattan Mall, they call. Now, once we pass it, on your left, you will see Macys. That's an 11-story building, 2.2 million square feet of department sale. That means a lot of square meters. Trust me, it's a lot of shopping anyways. But that building, Macys, is the world's largest store. Today, Macys is the second largest retail store in the world. Macys, if you're going to shop there, first, show your photo ID, because all of you come from somewhere else. They'll give you a 10% discount for shopping there. Okay, it's called the out-of-towners discount. If it's on sale, you can still add the 10%, they still give you that discount. The other thing is, if you're going to shop at Macys and you want to see the entire store, it only takes 72 hours to see the whole store. Next door, for big kids like me, it's called a sports bar. Now shopping is interesting. It still favors the ladies. Ladies shop, the guys go and drink, ladies come back with the receipt. The guys at the bar after a few drinks, they don't care what it says on that receipt.
That's the day's trash ready to be picked up. You'd pick that habit in bins, wouldn't you? Chrysler building. Fantastic.
On your right, this is the headquarters for HBO in New York City. They have some studios here too. 5,900 seats are in there, and 5,931 seats are in there. On that opening night, there were
That's the rock
16
behind it.
girls performing there. And that night, they were
Same
called
complex,
the
but
Roxyettes.
the Radio
Because they
City
were
part of
named
it's the
after
smallest
a
part.
guy called Roxy. He's the guy who developed Radio City Music Hall. Now look straight ahead now. You can see the building lit up where the ball drops. And just watch your heads with the winter garden on the right there.
He almost took his head off. I was watching that. I don't know if I got it on film. not the driver's fault. We've been warned over and over and over.
Oh, and by the way, the G building, top of the rock, before I forget, if I didn't mention it, their observation deck opens at 8 o'clock in the morning and it closes at midnight. 11 o'clock at night would be the last elevator going up there.
If you had $1 for every cab in this city, you'd be rich. This traffic is unusual, even by New York standards. Apparently, it's because the UN General Assembly is convening
Boys, here? Yes.
this week.
Okay. Everybody, this will be our last and final stop. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for noticing and thank you, man. I'm always.
Well, that was bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. Let's go and do battle.
Well, we're about to go at the New York subway system for the first time. So we're going uptown to the west side, up Broadway. Train subway successfully completed. We left the hotel at 9 AM. We're getting back at 9 PM. That's the way it should be every single day. And probably will be.
Generations of Americans.
Rockefeller took that gamble and the rest is history.
Welcome to Top of the Rock.
Yeah, on my side. 67. It's 89.
67 floors up. That's the Macys Lake. So we are staying over that way there, upper west side.
No, he took the picture myself.
Pretty cool right there. It's looking south to downtown.
It's Tuesday morning, it's about 10:45, September 2011. And we've come to the top of the rock. It's obviously a drizzly, cloudy day, but that's the reason that we came straight up, no lines, and I've got the whole place to ourselves basically. Obviously you'd prefer to see it on a nicer day, but the effect is still the same.
The Times Square Ball. The Empire State, which you can't see from the Empire State Building, if you know what I mean. It's the Brooklyn Bridge way down there. The Manhattan Bridge is just behind the Chrysler Building over there, the one we went over last evening. That's Midtown, and then the Upper West Side sort of starts at the bottom of Central Park there. Up past Broadway and 94th. And into Harlem. Did the bus tour around there yesterday. And back into the Upper East Side. Think Friends and that sort of thing. Then back down the East River. 15 degrees with the wind chill 9.
Doesn't feel too bad actually, that one.
It's about the best view of the Chrysler that we can get from here. Liberty's a bit hazy, but you get the idea. an 843 acre Central Park, right down to 72nd Street, probably just behind that Essex sign. That's where John Lennon lived, in the Dakota building. There he is going.
Yeah, going.
It's pretty quick.
It's good stuff.
67 floors in.
Thank you for visiting Top of the Rock
43.
Observation Deck.
There we are, terra firma.
Back down.
Look at these dudes.
That is a great.
Yeah, ridiculous. Oh yeah, that's the Essex House sign in the background.
Can you put that close, guys?
And
There's
that's
great
the,
exits and the gift shops on both sides.
Central Park. Nice one. Well, we're going to do a tour through that building that Rockefeller laid it all on the line for. The GE building right next to the Rockefeller Tower. Well, we did the Radio Hall tour, which was
Going to lunch or coming back from it, one or the other. It's all the black limos again.
oh yeah, the UN's got its thing going, and there's black limos and sirens, and there's just some down there.
That's all it is. Transporting those people around.
I was going to say the Radio City wouldn't allow video photography, which is a pity because it's an unbelievable theatre.
Yes, it was.
And its foyer was even just as impressive.
Absolutely beautiful. The art deco is wonderful.
And it's 1:25, and we haven't eaten today. Oh, bananas. We've eaten bananas this morning, as usual. This dude's highway patrol apparently. I think he's a long way from home. Okay, this is where Broadway intersects. That's 6th, that's Broadway. This is where it intersects. We're going to go straight ahead on 6th. That's Greeley Park. We were there yesterday. Broadway goes off up downtown to the left there. This is what we're looking for. Apparently the word is, isn't it, that
It's meant to be very good.
make your meal online. Not very big, but quite chic.
Yes.
Which one is the answer? No, the question, sorry. Look, that one's a bit more expensive. The rigatoni bolognese, the others are all $10 basically. Turns out my pastrami egg roll, that's for scale, is an appetiser for BB and I, because she got us the rigatoni something or other.
So it's just as well because we'll share both of them and it'll work out good.
The pastrami egg roll was crispy in all the right places and not a hint of doughiness, but it was deep fried. So it goes against my rule, but geez, it was tasty. This isn't deep fried. And I continue with our Italian theme for DC and New York.
That's right. Seeing a bit of that. It's good quality stuff.
Absolutely stunning, stunning. Particularly the meatball aspect of it.
Really good. They cook them just right. They don't overcook them.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's time for me to exert some self-discipline and accompany Barbara to Macys. However, I did bring a book, so seats haven't been that prominent in public areas, or private ones for that matter, in New York City, so I just assume I have to stand up and read. This Macys store is the largest in the world, largest department store in the world. It's pretty large.
Yeah, she got it.
I thought, oh good, something for me to read while BB's looking. Oh, cool. Actually, I've actually got my own book, but she's moving fairly quickly. So I might get run into or something. Or I might lose her. That would be bad. There's a lot of people in New York. And just when I was about to lose all hope. Ice cream. Yep. I've had to resort to my book. But that's okay. I'm quite comfy here. Well, we got out of 44. We got out of Macys within just over an hour, I reckon. That was a pretty good result. Barbara's not a big shopper. This is the current Madison Square Garden, the one that's been around since 1967, and they're rebuilding it. Underneath there is the Penn Station, Pennsylvania Station, which is where we came into.
Came on Saturday.
Must be a donut place.
Well, Brett's managing very well with our newly purchased suitcase to add to the growing collection. He's had to battle on with the cleaners, the traffic, pedestrians, the road hazards, including babies. We're getting there.
We got Jess sorted. Little mini, is it Minnie Mouse?
Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse in a Statue of Liberty's costume.
4th of July, too.
4th of July, and that's authenticity for you. Look at that. Times Square, New York City. A live cross, Times Square style.
Oh, there we
Soup
go.
Nazi,
Right.
apparently.
The soup man. The soup Nazi, that's what they call him on the television.
And Seinfeld's the guy that
On your left hand side,
they based the Seinfeld character on.
for the entrance of that wonderful building, the environmental building. It was first begun in 1931. Mr. Hearst ran out of money, and 75 years later, he hired
Oh yeah, I got stopped there.
architect named
And it
Norman
continues on.
in 1988 to finish the environmental building.
We're on our way back.
Beautiful. It resembles, it looks
Uptown.
like a movie biblical set. It has upscales.
That's the Time Warner.
Restaurant, shopping mall, hotel, condominium, office space, and entertainment center. Right here on your left-hand side.
This is
Now,
Columbus
to rent
Circle.
an apartment there will easily cost you monthly
There
rent
is, there's the man.
$50,000. That's the starting price. On your right-hand side, we have the main memorial here. It's dedicated for the Negro ship. They blew out in Havana, Cuba in
This is
1898.
Central Park.
We come into our next stop right here. This is 59th Street, Columbus Circle, Central Park. And we are going in the purple line.
It's 5 p.m.
This will be number 23 on the purple line, 23. On your left-hand side, we have one of 15 Donald Trump buildings right here on your left-hand side. Hi, welcome back. Hello. Just sit down. He already saw your ticket. Just sit down. Thank you so much, Al. Our next stop will be Lincoln Center, and that will be number 24. Number 24.
West 72nd, John Lennon Street.
And once again, the next stop will be for the Dakota Apartment Building, Strawberry Fields, number 25 on the green line, number 25.
That's the old style cab back in the day.
Now the apartment right there for the Dakota Apartment Building easily will go for $25 million. Now that's where the death of John Lennon took place in December 8, 1980.
Right after he finished recording his last record, he was approached by a fan out here, and right in front of the entrance of that wonderful building, he got shot and killed. Right across the street, we have at Central Park a memorial grove strawberry field dedicated to John Lennon. The murder took place right here at the entrance. You may see intact from 1884.